I'm going to prepare a little applesauce. Everybody talks about applesauce like it's so good, homemade applesauce, and oh, it's a big deal. And it's really so easy. I prefer the Macintosh because they cook up really well. But you can probably use just about any apple. I've made it with delicious apples and it's very good too. They stay a little more solid. So the first thing you do, you have to peel your apples. I got a little package of 8 apples. That'll make a small amount of applesauce. Usually you might as well get a big bag and make a lot of it because everybody's going to like it and it's good for breakfast, it's good for dinner. So anyhow, we'll get started here. I'm just going to, I think I'm going to need a little bag to put my peelings in. These bags from the grocery store are so handy for everything. So we start by peeling the apples. That's simple enough. They smell good. The Macintosh are, they're all good this time of year. And if you're up north, I'm sure the apples are great. And you can use any kind that you happen to like the taste of. And I cut them in quarters. And personally, I hate to be eating applesauce and get even the tiniest bit of core. So I make sure all that sharp center is cut out. And then what I'm going to do is slice the apples. Just cut out all the center part, the stem. Make sure you get, there's that little Sharpie stuff, and get all that out of there. And then what I'm going to do is keep them in some cold water so they don't turn too brown ahead of time. You want the applesauce to be really pretty. So I've got some nice cool water. And this doesn't take long, you know, and it's fun. Sometimes it's nice to sit down at the table, put on some Christmas music. This is that time of the year. And this is the time of the year when applesauce tastes so good. And then if you're having any company or anyone over, the smell of it with the cinnamon, makes the house smell good. And it is so easy. I love to cook things that are easy and that people think, oh wow, she made homemade applesauce. I can't imagine why anyone would want to buy applesauce when it's so easy to make. And like I say, this time of the year, especially when the apples are so good. Of course, now and then I do buy applesauce so that if you're in a huge hurry, but homemade is altogether different. Altogether different. It's so good. And I like this little knife. Get your favorite little paring knife. If you can't find your favorite, then use whatever you can get your hands on. But this part of it is extremely simple. And like I said, generally you'll want to make a lot of it because you're going to enjoy it with breakfast, with toast. Applesauce is wonderful with pork. And it's also good with chicken, turkey, Thanksgiving. We always have homemade applesauce on Thanksgiving. So now, after I get them sliced, I'll be ready to start cooking them. I just got to get them peeled. It's nice if you have someone else visiting, you can sit and peel apples together and talk, and that's fun. Actually, cooking is just fun. Okay, now that I have the apples all cored and cut into quarters, pared, I'll slice the apples. And if you slice them thin, they cook faster. So you want to slice them pretty thin. Make your applesauce quick. You'll slice them all up, as you can see, just about like that. And while you weren't looking, I did get 3 more apples out of the fruit dish. And I think that I had an imposter in there. I think one of them was a Gala, possibly. Didn't look like a Macintosh, but that's all right. Now this doesn't take any particular skill. It's just slice, 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 and a little patience, and it gives you a little time to think about things and relax, which is one of the good things about cooking, as you all know. It takes your mind off of everything else. You're just deeply involved with these little Macintosh apples. So you just keep working at it. Now, I would have been very clever, actually, if I had had another bowl to put the sliced apples in and have the ones that weren't sliced in this bowl, because as it is, I have to kind of reach down and see, okay, what is left that I haven't sliced? And it wouldn't be terrible if 1 or 2 quarters got in there unsliced. Kids love applesauce. And you can make a variety. Not long ago, Mary Emma made some very delicious cranberry sauce. And then she took a variety of apples that don't cook up mushy, that stay rather solid, and she put a little applesauce in with the cranberry sauce. Oh, that was good. She took that to work. They were having a little party, and everybody loved it. They wanted to know what kind of apples and how you did that. And of course, that's really easy, because the bag of cranberries tells you, I think it's a cup of water and a cup of sugar that you put in with the cranberries and cook it about 10 minutes, and there you have it. And then you can add your own special touches. She's actually made cranberry sauce with pears. A few pears in there. That's really good too. Maybe you've tried that already. But just plain old applesauce with cinnamon and sugar, you can't beat it. It adds so much to a meal. I kind of like it right after it's cooked, a little bit warm, but I think most people like to refrigerate it and serve chilled applesauce. You can have it either way. It's like pie. Really, it is like apple pie without the crust. And I'm a fruit lover, so I like the cherries, the apples, the peaches, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to have the crust. So we're about ready to cook these. I'm kind of making a double check here to make sure that I've got them all sliced, and I think I pretty well do. Now I'll rinse them off. They've been in water, but you probably want to add a little more water, rinse them after you've been working with them. This will make a nice amount for about 4 people. I missed 1 or 2. Seeing as I did it rather backwards, and that is sometimes the way I do things, just a little bit backwards. They look good, they smell good. I think we're ready. Drain the water off. When the apples cook, they have a lot of juice that comes out, so you don't need much water when you cook applesauce. They provide their own liquid for the most part. You do need a little bit of water. So I'm going to go over to the stove and we'll continue.